Hello, 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 hello. As you join the room, please let me know if you can hear. The microphone is right here. Move it up. Hello, hello. Sound okay? So let's give everyone a couple minutes to join the room. We'll get started here. Hello, lavish beauty. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? I have a fan next to me. Is the fan making some noise in here? Well, great, you can hear me. That's fantastic. So we're gonna give everybody just a couple minutes to get in the room. Usually it takes about 2 or 3 minutes for people to come in and join. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A for you guys. So if you guys have any questions on a certain situation, you want to know anything, I also do like energy readings. I used to do on my other channel on TikTok, like free live energy readings, which really help people just break down. Oh, well, let me turn off the fan. Just really help people break down their current situation. So if you want help with the current situation, if you want a free reading, or if you have a Q&A, we're just going to do that today. I'm just going to hang out with you guys. Lynette says, hey, Master J. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Are you guys from America? You guys in America right now? Right now I'm in Asia. So it's like, what's it? It's 12:30 in the afternoon right here. So it must be nighttime if you're in America. Just comment below where you're from. Just give everyone a few minutes to come on in. And I'm just here today. I just wanted to connect with you guys and answer some questions. Lavish Beauty says, I love your videos on Scorpio and Aquarius. Scorpio and Aquarius. Aquarius is in my opinion, the most interesting of people. I think Aquarius are very interesting. I think they have a very interesting appearance, and they're very, very, very hard to put in a box. Scorpio and Aquarius is like it's like a tornado and a tsunami combining together. Is that what's called a hurricane? Lynette says, yes, I'm in Seattle, Washington. No freaking way. Really. I'm from Seattle. That is great. It's 10:29 in Seattle. I live near the airport in Seattle. I live near the SeaTac airport. I'm like 10 minutes from there. That is crazy. But right now I'm in Vietnam. Labs Beauty says, yes, I'm in America. I'm from New Orleans, Los Angeles. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. So if you guys are just joining the room, we are doing a Q&A, and I'm doing some free readings for you guys. So I'm kind of psychic, and I like to help people. 9U Jeffjin says, are you gay? No. What the hell? And no, I am not. But a lot of gay people like me. A lot of gay dudes like me. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a spiritual person. I think there are not a lot of like spiritual men, and the idea of whole like talking to your feelings or getting in tune with love or getting in tune with your intuition, I think the traditional masculine dude finds it weird. So a lot of I I'm gonna be honest. A lot of gay spiritual dudes have like hit on me before, and I just nah, man. I don't fuck with dudes, man. I've been hit on by a lot of gay dudes, basically, but I like women, man. I have a couple hours before I go hang out with my homegirl. Cookies and Cream says, "Are you a Scorpio?" Yes. Spiffy Boy says, "Maybe their spirit felt a connection with yours." Yeah, no, definitely, definitely, man. Because I don't know much about gay dudes, but they're more like open minded, right? A lot of I don't know how to explain it. A lot of this generation today, or like normal dudes, they're all about like having sex with hoes and having sex with chicks and banging and stuff. And I think when you get more in tune with your spiritual self, you kind of don't resonate with that, and you talk. I'm more open to the things that like people would consider like feminine, like because intuition, right? Intuition is not a traditionally masculine thing, but my whole life is lived on intuition. Everything I do is intuition. Yeah, I don't know much about gay dudes. Yeah, I just don't mess with them. Yeah, man. Hey, man. If you're gay, it's cool. Just don't be trying to hit on me. I don't know, man. Since I've started working in the spiritual field, I've noticed that like a lot of gay dudes want to be my friend. Before, when I was, yeah, it just came with it. Cookies Cream says, "What social things matter to you?" Can you elaborate on that question? I don't really understand that question. You're talking about like political, or you're talking about like people? But yeah, if you guys have any questions, like for yourself, I don't know. If you guys want to talk to me, that's fine. But I was here to answer your guys' questions. Political, I don't really care about political, man. I've never really cared about it. I've never. Here's the way I see it. No matter who became president, my life was kind of like the same. I don't really notice. I'm a very focused person, and I'm a very I kind of live in my own world, and I don't really care about other things. As you buy into something, it starts to have power over you. So I don't really have views on that. I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, Obama became president, and then like Trump became president. I was like, I don't know, man. I still feel like my life's the same. So I don't have much views on political stuff unless it directly affects me. I don't notice, but there are only certain things in the world that you can control. That's just my opinion, and I don't even live in America, so that tells you a lot. So do you guys need help with anything? That's why I'm here. But if you guys just want to kick it and hang out, that's fine. Priests and priestesses in some ancient religions, individuals dedicated to a god or goddess, were expected to remain chaste. Is that political? That sounds more spiritual to me. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. So my view on that, yes. Culture. There we go. Yes. This is a great question. So for Cookies and Cream, when I became what we call a priest, right? Consider a priest in Asia. Should I talk about this? Sure, why not? So when I took my all right, this is kind of deep, but I'll get into it with you. So when I became a priest, or when my spiritual gifts really developed, I had a. It was a couple years ago. How long was this ago? 3 or 4 years ago. I had a dream, and I woke up in front of this. other realm, this divine realm. And in the realm, I was in front of a bunch of deities, spiritual deities. And I remember recognizing all of them. I saw Guan Yin, I saw Archangel Michael, I saw Shiva. I'm trying to remember all of it right now. There's three I can remember right now. And next to me stood my higher self. And in front of me was a book. And in that book, what I came to realize was it was the tree of life. So when we have a spiritual awakening and when we tap into our path, we kind of re-sign ourselves. So before I was living from I think they call it the tree of evil or the forbidden fruit. So when I tapped into my gift, I had a vision and I was transported to some other realm. And in front of me, they presented the tree of life. And they said, if you want to walk your path with God and serve your divine mission, there are things that you must do. And one of those things, I was very conscious in this dream, and next to me stood my higher self. And in this dream, I asked them a question. One was, what am I going to do for income if I really tap into my spiritual gift? And the response was, you just have to follow our path and do it in the righteous way. And the other one I asked is, will I be able to have kids if I go to this realm? And the answer that I got was, there are only few women in the world that you can be with. And when you meet them, you will know. And one of those women was my twin flame. The other woman in the world, you are not allowed to touch. And so there's a certain number of women, and there are certain women that I meet now that I know are meant for me on my path, and that's it. So I do have my own guidelines on this. But yeah, that's a real thing, because even my twin flame's mom asked me, she's like, so if you do this job, like, can you ever get married? And I kind of explained it to her. She was like, are you allowed to get married? I was like, yeah. I asked before I signed, before I took my oath as a priest. So that is real. That was a couple years ago. I have not thought of that in a long time. But when you walk the path that you are meant to, especially when it's a spiritual one, there are very, very, very strict guidelines, and there's a lot of like immediate karma involved. So when I do things that I know I'm not supposed to do, I am chastised very quickly, and I learn very quickly. Back then, I didn't know, but now I know. Yeah, in there was Archangel Michael, Guan Yin, Gautama Buddha. I couldn't remember who else right now. I know Shiva was there, and it was a different dimension because we exist in like this 3D realm, but the face of what like Archangel Michael looks like or what Buddha looks like isn't what we think. We have these like pictures in our 3D realm, and they look like what we can imagine them, but they're like these forms of energy. Like Guan Yin doesn't look like the lady on a statue. She looks like this beautiful form of cosmic energy. And that is something very interesting. Different realms and different dimensions, they don't look like how we think we look at them. Galactic Federation Rebirth. Yeah. And I signed my name in this book. And when I signed my name in this book, which I now see, my mentor told me is the Tree of Life, 3 names popped up. One of them was a name in Hebrew. One of them was a name that I have right now. And one of them was a name of my higher self. And we closed that book, and they said, go ahead and do your mission. And they were all very happy. And I woke up, and that's when I started to tap into all my spiritual gifts. When I met my twin flame, when I moved to Vietnam, when I moved to Asia, when I opened a Scorpio Scriptures healing facility, that's when things turned around in my life. I think I was just about 25 at that time, just about to turn 26. And that is when everything changed. Yeah, that's real. That's a real story. I don't think you can make something like that up. It was because I woke up and I was like, that was not a dream, because I remember it perfectly. And that was the day Master J was born. And all my like gifts and talents, they're not like from me. They came after that. They came after that. Before I was just like this normal person who was just very confused in the world and didn't really understand stuff. But little did I know, as I moved to Asia and Vietnam, my family is connected. We have been doing this for a long time. I just didn't know. And we've been doing this for a really long time. My bloodline is a bloodline of shamans and priests. And my dad told me, he's like, in every generation, there is a new shaman, there's a new priest. And it just happened to be me who was born in America. So that's how it is. That's how it is. Wow. Okay, let me read these questions again while we are on topic. But I shared that with my mentor, and I was telling her like, "Do you know what happened to me?" And she's telling me that is the re-signing of the book of the Tree of Life. So sometimes that is the reawakening, the rebirth. Doesn't feel good to chant. Chant or chat? Chant and chat. It's both great. Lynette says that's deep. Okay. My question is, I can't heal fully from this 11-12 Scorpio. As me being a 11-2 Scorpio, I start to get over him, then boom, why? The one that ghosted me. So what I was seeing that is it's a pattern, right? When people, let's see, what I see is this is a behavior pattern that is really just ingrained in your psyche, in your psychology right now. So at a deeper level, you can look at this like, especially if you guys have had sex or intercourse, right? It's a merging of energies, or even like an energy parasite. Sometimes you have like an energy parasite connected to you. And a lot of times when you're about to get rid of it, and that's when the whole thing cycles back like a loop, right? Because these types of energies, they need you to feel something in order for it to live. It needs to feed off of your life so it can exist. So there are oftentimes you'll forget about the person, or you're about to get over a person, and right when you're about to get over is when you feel that strong emotional pull the most, because it can feel you getting away. These type of things, you want to recognize these toxic behavior patterns and really look inward and begin to not tolerate it, and really start to question yourself. You can ask yourself out loud and say, higher self, can you show me what is actually happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? And please show me the situation to get rid of it. And things will start to unveil in yourself. But these things, they live off of your life. There are patterns, and there are people, and there are like entities or like parasites in this world that they need you in order to live. They need your energy of life to use your emotion, because your emotion and your attention and your life is the divine energy that's flowing through you. And some things require you to suffer and to feel emotion so they can keep getting a thrill out of it. So you want to recognize these things. You want to begin recognizing these things, because unhealthy relationships, they continue in cycles, and it feels good and it feels bad and it feels good and it feels bad. A lot of times it's a pattern, and the deeper it is, the more tricky it is to get rid of. So you come to the right place, definitely, because you want to recognize these things. And keep reading your questions here. And if you got a question, just keep shooting it. I'm going to keep on answering them as I read them. I am an Aquarius woman with a Pisces moon and a Cancer rising. I'm dating a Scorpio. Do you think I can be a good fit for him? Yes. Do you think he can be a good fit for you? Those are pretty good placements. Cookies and Cream says mantras. Yeah, mantras is great. Mantras is great. especially if like you really, 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 really are detached from a lot of things and you're able to do mantras and stuff. I find that the more detached you are from your emotions and attachments, the more effective mantras are. So mantras definitely feel great. Cookies Cream says, these days, all the secrets are coming to light. Yeah, definitely. We live in a very, very interesting time. The collective conscious has shifted so much. Even in the last 5 to 10 years, it's gone like all the things in the world. It's just everything is so different now. It's like you can't really be like a dark or evil person anymore without eventually getting caught. But I call it the reptilian tyrant consciousness. Right? A whole bunch of evil dinosaurs run the world. Right? It's all for entertainment purposes only. Before, the dinosaurs ran the world and they could control everything. But now the light is coming through on all the darkness, and it's happening very quickly. You see all these weird things happening with celebrities, everything. It's just the darkness coming out into light. Bill Hunter says energy vampire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are very real, man. Energy vampires are very, very, very real, and it's it's scary when you deal with them because sometimes energy vampire, you don't even know the person you've known for a long time is an energy vampire. Sometimes you don't even know. They're so subtle. They're so good with it, and you get so deep in it, right? You just think, he's just like that, she's just like that, and you start to tolerate it. You start to tolerate these things, and you're like, and you don't even know they're taking energy from you, and they're just doing it to get a thrill from you. It's the people that you know the longest and that you'll brush over because you've known them very long, that can be the most deep and powerful energy vampires that are blocking you. That's something I've learned on my journey. That really shocked me. Like, it's not because when you become more aware of the people you're around, right? It's a little harder to make friends and everything. It's harder to make friends. It's harder to connect with people on a deep level. You're more aware. You're more cautious. But the people that you're not cautious around are the people that you've known the longest. Maybe your mom, your dad, your brother, maybe your auntie, right? You give them a leeway because you've known them so long. Those people that are closest to you are the ones you really gotta do a double check on. Because the people you don't know, the new people, you're automatically checking for them anyway. Ruby SD5 says, how can I help a Scorpio man find his path when he communicates very little? Sometimes you just gotta leave people be. Sometimes you just gotta leave people be. You can't lead, what's the saying? You can't lead a horse to drink some water if it ain't thirsty. If somebody doesn't want help and you push on them, they start to resent you. So only if you can plant some seeds in this mind, but only if they ask. What do you call people who do not desire sex or having relationships? Isn't that asexual? I believe that's what that's called. I believe that's what's that called. That's called. I think there are people like that exist too. I wonder what that's like. I wonder what that's like. I myself, I used to struggle with lust a lot. You know, Scorpios, we have very strong lust energy. I used to struggle with lust a lot. Just probably, I'm gonna be honest, just probably like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, did I really overcome my lust. So I am yeah, I totally understand it. Sometimes before, I wish I could have been like asexual, just not desire anything, because it was a pain in the ass, man. Being a lustful person is a pain in the ass because lust is a very, very low frequency and it's a very powerful frequency, and it can destroy you. Uh, Lust is something that can destroy the human soul and relationships. My mentor told me that. My mentor told me that about like 6 months ago. She just knows a bunch of stuff about me. And she tells me these little things, and I'm like, I better pay attention to her because she knows what I'm saying. And she told me, people that are stuck in lust, they're not really experiencing love or living from a place of love. And she just stared at me. And I was like, she's calling me out on something, like how she always does. And I was like, I should really listen. Bill Hunter says, self-love and boundaries are crucial. Trauma bonding. Yes, yes, and yes. Trauma bonding is so dangerous. Trauma bonding is very, very dangerous. Because it's like one person wants to take life, and then one person doesn't feel life unless it's being taken from them. And then you start to get deeper and deeper and deeper in this relationship that ultimately two people are just like, it's very bad. It's very bad. I've experienced it before. I'm sure you've all experienced it before, one way or another. Self-love and boundaries are crucial. Usually that's what the trauma bonding comes from. There's one person who lacks probably self-love or boundaries, and there's another person who wants, give me everything, give me your life. And you see that play out a lot. Cookies cream. Why do Scorpios always want someone when they're already taken? Man, Scorpios are weird. They're weird people. They're not going to tell you what they're thinking. Scorpio might want you for like 10 years, yeah? And just not tell you or tell anybody. And then just watch you get married. There's like a jealousy thing. Some people like people when they like others more. That's the thing, huh? Ezra, last name G. I'm assuming that's a Polish name. It's a Polish name. Dear Master J, I recently met my Scorpio crush, and I tried touching his hand, but he rejected me. I have noticed that one of my good friends, who is a Scorpio, doesn't like hugs. Why could that be? Oh, they like it. They just don't like to admit it. They just don't like to show it. Oh, Scorpios like touching. Oh, they like touching. I'm telling you, they do. They just have this tough exterior. Oh, they do. It's not why could that be? It's a something about them that's not comfortable enough with you or other people to show their vulnerable side. Trust me, they like it. Cookies Cream says, "You're Korean. I love your future." No, I'm not. I'm Vietnamese. I'm Vietnamese, not Korean. Bill Hunter says, "Awakening, especially family." Yeah, family sometimes is your biggest enemy. Unfortunately. Was it I don't remember this exactly. Was it somewhere in the Bible that Jesus said your family is your enemy or something? Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I heard that from another person. I don't know if it's exactly true, but I know Jesus said something like, to his mom, and I think it was his mom and his brother. He's like, somebody said, Jesus, your mom and your son is here, or your mom and your brother's here. And he's like, that's not my family. My family are the people that vibe with me. And paraphrasing, my family is the one that gets me, that actually gets me. Right? It's not the flesh and the blood that simply makes us family, although there's a connection there. Sometimes your family, like you guys, is all over the world. I am in Asia. I'm in Vietnam right now. I'm talking to people in America, and you can comment down below where you're from. But that's your vibe is your tribe. Your vibe is your family. That's a real family. Lavish Beauty says, I think he is. We have a great time together. I think he's intrigued by me, but he's also psychic. Yeah, man, Scorpios, a lot of Scorpios are naturally psychic. And when they have that gift and they have that ability, they're very, very, very like, like they're always just looking at things. Like, I'm kind of psychic too, right? So sometimes it gets in the way of getting to know people. Because if you know so much from looking at someone, you know them in your mind, yeah, but you don't know them in person. The relationship between two people happens between them when they talk and exchange energy. And sometimes people, especially Scorpios, they're so psychic. They're like, oh no, but this happened and this and blah blah blah. So it's a double-edged sword. It makes people more cautious a lot of times. Lynette says, thank you. There's a lot I've been learning throughout this heart shift. I learned my birth chart, my life path, and now I'm learning emotional intelligence. Ah, you're welcome. That's great. That's fantastic. Emotional intelligence. If you can really, really, really get in tune with yourself and your intuitions, right? Your deep feelings, you will. I'll say this with confidence: you'll never ever make a mistake again in your life. Emotional intelligence, emotions, and intuition is two different things. Your emotions that you feel, they change all the time. Like if I just say, if you have a dog, imagine that your dog died, right? You just get sad. I remember my dog right now. My brother's dog, we had a little Pom. Whenever I think of her, she died from like cancer or something, I get sad, right? Emotions are fluctuating. Emotional intelligence and intuition is two very different things. When you are on this journey, you want to get in tune with your intuition. And when you get in tune with your intuition, you'll always know the right way to go. And nobody can ever fool you or tell you anything that you don't know, right? It's about learning to trust yourself deep from within. Daniela DDJJ fan says, have you tried ube? Yes, I fucking love ube. Ube is my favorite artificial flavor. Ube, purple potato, Malona ice cream bar, ube flavor, slapping. Taro bubble tea, ube. It's my favorite. If you guys have never tried ube, if you perhaps people who have not tried the Asian cuisine, go get some taro bubble tea or some ube ice cream. You will thank me. I went to the Philippines one time, kick it with my homie Clyde. We had some, what's it called? Halo halo. Halo halo ube is, don't get me started. That is my favorite candy, ice cream, bubble tea, snack, anything. Bill Hunter says, I send y'all love and blessings. So I'm just reading the chat. If it's delayed, I'm just answering it in chronological order. So don't worry, I'm going down. Cookies and Cream says, I'm the quiet one, but I'm super strong. I think Scorpio men need to get grounded and put a bowl of water by the bed before sleeping. Water absorbs negativity, just cleanse everything in the house. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, Scorpios, they get hypnotized by their own mind. So they do have to get grounded. I admit that myself. I found out I have a very strong mind. I just need to learn how to use it. And I think that's a case for a lot of people. Cookies and Cream says, sex is for losers, I feel. People should search for meaningful connections. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%. Because, hey, man, you don't want to get some disease. Or you don't want to have sex with you just don't know people, man. But sex, yeah, man. The world's been programmed, right, in a deranged way. But people like Cookies and Cream and everyone in this chat, they're understanding things on a deeper level. Sex is much more than just a feeling, for sure. Kirill Benedict says, Master J is still as sharp and powerful as ever. Hey, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well where you're working right now. Your insights on the Scorpio scriptures on another level. Grateful to learn from you. It's great to talk to you, man. Ruby says, thank you for your answer. Gretch L says, what does J stand for in Master J? And Kirill says J. Yeah, the J stands for J. J is my nickname, which is J, J-A-Y. J is short for J. Yeah. But my real name is Jimmy. My birth name is Jimmy. And then when I had my spiritual awakening, I just said, let's make it J. And then Master J is the short version of J, J-A-Y. Maddie says, what's your rising and moon? Thank you for all you do. My rising is Sagittarius, and my moon is a Sagittarius. I have a Sagittarius, Mars, moon, and rising. Do I look like a Sagittarius? Do what we look like? You know how you tell Sagittarius rising? We have very long legs. Sagittarius rising, they have very long legs because they're half human, right? Half horse. My legs is about like all the way up to here on my body. My upper body is like this big. That's how you, when you look at Sagittarius rising, that's how you can tell them. Yeah, they embody the centaur look. So my leg is like longer than the average person's leg. My arm is and upper body is very compact. I have a Scorpio stellium, Sagittarius stellium. Daya Chohan says, I have one question. I'm confused about if my Scorpio has feelings for me or not. My gut feeling says he has, but he never says by words. He calls me daily. If he is not able to call, he texts. Well, if you guys have been having a relationship for a long time, I don't know how long you guys been talking to each other, but you can start dropping some seeds there. Because Scorpios tend to play it pretty safe. If you can, if you have feelings for him and you have feelings vice versa, you can start to open little doors, plant little seeds in his brain. If you really want to understand the mind of men, I'm assuming you're a woman. But if you're talking to a man, any man, not just Scorpio man, you just get in their head a little bit by planting seeds in their mind. There's a saying: a man makes love to a woman's body. A woman makes love to a man's mind. But oftentimes Scorpios are very safe and holding things back. But if you call and text regularly, that's already a relationship has been formed. You know, constant communication with anyone is a relationship. There's energy. Lynette says, how can I learn more about my intuition? And can you give a Scorpio girl a real good tip? Is that a two-part question or one-part question? How you can learn more about your intuition is to be still and know that all things around you are a reflection of the inner state. And your intuition leads you more to the truth of who you are. So if you are ever like confused about what to do, I would just sit maybe for 5 to 10 minutes or even 20, 30 minutes in total silence and to focus on your breath. And then something I like to do my own self in meditation is I focus my inner eye on my third eye. And I just focus on breathing and I focus on just watching my thoughts go by. Because your intuition is very quiet. It doesn't scream at you in words. The intuition is your connection to the divine self, the higher self. The intuition is a voiceless voice. It's a quiet, subtle knowing. There aren't words to describe your intuition communicating with you. It's a quiet knowing and it's a quiet guidance. That's the best way I can explain it. To sit in the silence and listening to your intuition is learning how to hear the voice which has no voice. And that's the best way I can put it into words. It's something that you understand inherently. I can't explain it other than that. It's a very calm, reassuring, and knowing feeling. That is your intuition. You know, I think women too are better at connecting to their intuition. You know, women say, "I just know, I just knew it." Like, has your mom or like your grandma or your aunt ever just like knew if something's wrong with you? They just know. They just know. That's intuition right there. Mothers, if you are a mother or like a sister or something, you have a strong intuition about like your family and your loved ones. You just know. It's that same type of knowing. Opaline. Master J, I've never caught your live, but I watch your videos to understand my Scorpio love who I'm in no contact with. Just didn't work out in this lifetime. Hey, it's cool. Uh, Thank you for your support. Things happen along the journey. Maddie says, I'm a Sagittarius rising too. It's so true about legs being longer. What's your Jupiter sign and house? How did your journey into astrology and spirituality begin? To be honest, I don't know the Jupiter right off the bat. I think it's Aquarius. I have a chart, I have a reading. I don't remember everything just by my brain. I had a professional do mine for me. How did my journey into astrology and spirituality begin? You can watch that in the replay. But my journey into astrology began when I was like 16, and I found out what astrology was. And then I showed my cousin at the time, like explaining to him about like Scorpio and the three-phase totem rising. I was like 16, and I'll be honest, I was like 16, and we were really high. I was a high school kid that was into astrology, and I was hanging out with my older cousin. He was like 21 or 22, and we were super high on drugs. And I was telling him like the Scorpio has like the Phoenix thing, blah blah blah, and I was pointing out like all my family members and like what sign they were and what the Scorpios like what phase of evolution they were. And he was just like, he's like, dude, he was like, dude, you're like 16 years old. How do you see all this shit? And he was like amazed. And then what happened is I went to college and I went to school and I forgot all about that. And let's see. About 7 to 8 years later, I was 24. I had my spiritual awakening, and all the stuff just came back to me. So I was conditioned by college and school, and then right when I had my awakening, the same interests that when I was a teenager just came back to me. So it's all been like natural, kind of. But if you rewatch this live stream, you'll see all the questions. Tarot is not a form of future telling or relationship advice, and has nothing to do with horoscopes as they develop under completely different. Tarot is nothing more than an Italian card game. It wasn't even considered magic until the French in the 1700s. All right. Thank you for the info. Yeah, I don't read tarot. I don't read tarot cards. But I see people use it as a vehicle to connect on the spiritual realm, right? It's all like a symbolic thing. I've seen people read tarot, and I've seen people read futures or get relationship advice using like Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's really them using the card as a tool to symbolize what's happening. But I didn't know this fact. I tried tarot once. My mentor gave me a deck. It's back in America. I don't really know how to use it. Lynette says, I would love to learn more from you. Thank you again. Yeah, you can check out our website, scorpioscriptures.com. or you can just keep on hanging out in the lives too. Stay in touch. Stay in touch. This is not how any of this stuff works. As I said before, tarot has absolutely nothing to do with horoscopes as they develop under different cultures and time periods. Yeah, I agree. I don't know who was talking about tarot in here before you. I don't read tarot. I don't have a deck here. Another thing about my Scorpio is that I think at some point in our relationship, he wasn't sure about me and was withdrawn from me. Then he came back with the energy stronger than before. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. When a Scorpio man connects with a Gemini woman, what tips do you have that both grow together? In any relationship, love triggers wounds. That's the tip that I would say. Love triggers wounds. He jokes about harming anyone I decide to date, but I don't think he's joking. Ah, yeah, man, that's a bit much right there. That is beyond my pay grade. You should be careful with people like that. Um, that's beyond my pay grade, right? Don't get hurt in these relationships. Don't deal with bad people. Just because he's a Scorpio, just because you like him a lot, just because you're attracted to him, just keep yourself safe. Keep yourself safe. Lynette says, I tap into a lot, just get confused sometimes. I think a lot. I have Scorpio stellium arising as Aries. Yeah, confusion happens to all of us, really. Life is really, the mind is your worst enemy or your best friend sometimes. That's what it is. Your stream literally says free readings, buddy. Yeah, energy readings. If you join when I came in, I said I read people's energy. Do you see a tarot deck here, buddy? And does it, hey, does it say tarot readings? So thanks for coming in and trying to ruin the vibe by being a smartass. And you put people like this in timeout, man. You don't gotta deal with them. You can come in and say certain things, right? Oh, tarot's not real, blah blah blah. But if you read the title, it doesn't say free tarot readings. It says free live readings. There's a difference. So if you want to be a smartass, you should be a more thorough smartass next time. Because I'm not about that shit. I'm not about drama. You just come in to bring some drama. And like how I mentioned in the beginning, some people just want to take energy from you. People like that, they want to come in, they want to set the mood, they want to point out things, they want to take energy from you, they want to say certain things. Yeah, I don't roll with that, man. If you were really, really, really thinking of it, you would see his title doesn't say free tarot readings. So I got to point that out to you, man. I appreciate your insight, though. You're very smart. And I like Pokemon, so I'll roll with you on that. Jamila Baby says, hi, I really like your videos. Thank you very much for your support. And haha, he hates Geminis. Hey, it is what it is. All right, kidding, not kidding. Share the love with Miss Jen. Said hi. Hello. She says, can you read my energy, please? Yeah, you have a good energy. You have a great energy. Very loving and very caring. But sometimes people tend to get the best over you, or sometimes people tend to take advantage of your kind nature. Somebody in the beginning had mentioned self love and boundaries. You have a very loving and expansive energy, but I would recommend to understand that not everybody should take your energy, because sometimes, especially, oh, hey, even your name is share the love, right? You share love, share love, share love, but don't overshare to the point where people take from you. That's immediately what I pick up from your vibe. You want to share love, but you also want to share love with yourself. And share love with yourself first, and then you bring it out back onto other people in a healthy way. Esra G says, I appreciate you. What would you say is a good way to make a good first impression on a Scorpio man when you only have limited time to talk to him? What would you say is a good way to make? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is I would say do subtle stuff. I think I say it in a lot of videos, but when you are dealing with men that are very, very observant, you want to meet them on that frequency and on that plane. So there are some men that are very sharp and notice everything. So to make a good impression is to do things that nobody else would notice but him, right? It shows a level of emotional intelligence and awareness. And that's how I find that the women that I like, they're just like that too. Some women are very, very sharp, and a lot of guys, they won't be able to pick up on a woman's signals because they're not aware of how she's communicating. If you see that this man is sharp, you want to speak to him in his own language. That's how you leave a good impression on someone. Especially if he's a traditional Scorpio man, he's very paranoid. Somebody that can see through the stuff that he sees through and meet him on his level. I mean, that's how women get me. Whenever I look back on it, yeah, same with my twin flame. Yeah, that's exactly what she did. All right, I'm gonna go out for a couple more minutes, and I'm gonna get out of here. It's been about an hour. Any advice to help a Scorpio man who's suffering from depression? Yeah, sometimes we're depressed, and that depression is showing us something about our life on a deep spiritual level, on a deeper level than just the feeling. A lot of times, feeling depressed comes from a reason. It could be a shitty job, a life they don't like, not trying. Who knows what they do? Not over a breakup, too many video games, too many things. Not living up to your full potential, especially as a man, it makes you depressed. So these are things to look at, because you don't, especially a Scorpio man who feels things very intensely. You can't. I mean, if you tell him this, if you're a girl, your name's Maddie, if you tell him this, it might really wake him the hell up. You can't let your feeling of depression stop you from living life. Even if you feel bad, sometimes you need to go and just do stuff. And a lot of times, when you make your life better or you confront the demons that are holding you back, it tends to help out with the depression. I'm not a medical expert. I'm just an entertaining guy on YouTube, right? I'm just a astrology guy, like the other dude is talking about, who labels things randomly. So this is not medical advice. This is personal advice with a disclaimer behind it, because each person's situation is different. But have we not like all been depressed before? Yeah? I've been depressed before, a lot of times. It sucks. Maybe we all been depressed, right? If you're watching this, maybe you're depressed right now. In the future, you're watching Master J talk about depression. Everybody goes through shit that sucks. Everybody goes through shit that sucks. Life just sucks sometimes. Sometimes life just sucks ass. That's what it is. And you can't let the ass sucking suck forever. You can't allow the ass sucking to suck forever. Sometimes you just got to get up and say, I'm tired of just feeling like crap all the time. There are many different viewpoints on that. That's how I view it. Because we feel emotions and we feel uncomfortable. If you let your feelings control your whole life, we would not really be. I don't know. I don't think we'd even be like a functioning civilization. Jamila Baby says, "Can you read mine next?" I see an attitude that's like very feisty and like a little spunky, and a lot of men have trouble handling you and hanging out with you. But you are really looking for the man with a plan who can handle you at the end of the day. I see a lot to give and a lot to earn is the first thing that I pick up from you. Vietnamese women are like that, so I totally understand what I'm talking about. Vietnamese women, they have that similar energy. They will do everything for you and love you to death, but they will they really put you through some stuff. They play very hard to get. This is kind of similar. Share the love with Miss Jen says, I'm learning to set boundaries. I'm feeling sad. My sister passed away last night. I understand. I understand. I understand. No, I understand. I wish you the best. In the Psy, I know who do it. The orphans don't go home, they go there. What? All right. Is this a song? Parmate Sendu says hi. Hello. Sheila Marie says, how did you know that you met your twin flame? Oh, you can watch the video on the channel, Evolve Scorpio Man for Scorpio Man. I tell the whole story about that. That's a I don't want to I don't want to retell the same story all the time, but it's right there. You can click Master J, click the first video, and it'll tell you about that. Want to say to the next one, thank you. I always enjoy your wisdom and support. Thank you very much for tuning in. Share the love with Miss Jen says, exactly. When you're tired of being tired, that's when the change starts. Yeah, man. Yo, can we highlight a comment or something? How do I highlight? Here we go. Pin that message right there. There you freaking go. When you're tired of being tired, that's when the change starts. That is so freaking true. Sometimes you just get tired of life sucking, bro. Sometimes that's it, man. Sometimes it's it. Sometimes there's a breaking point in life. That's why a lot of people, it's like somebody in your family passed away, they got fired from a job, they got dumped, and all of a sudden they become like a different person, right? A lot of guys, they make a lot more money or they get more fit, or like girls, they'll go start this business or like lose 10 pounds after they get dumped or something bad happens. It's because it's the discomfort that you feel. You can let it eat you, or you can use that because it's energy. All things are energy. Even negative emotions that you hate and make you feel uncomfortable is still energy. And it's if you let it consume you, or if you let it propel you into doing something else. Because what's the law? Is it Newton's first law? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the first law. It says energy can never be created or destroyed, only transferred. So if you lose someone or you get dumped, right, that energy is that hole and that void is being transferred. You can use it for something good, or you use it for something, in this term, bad. It's uncomfortable. Every single human being deals with shit. And you can't be a victim and let yourself Yeah, you can't let yourself be destroyed through your own feelings. Does that make sense? How can your own emotions and your own mind, in this case, be your worst enemy? You got to learn how to control your mind. You really got to learn how to control your mind. And share the love with Miss Jen said. When you're tired of being tired, that's when change starts. That's a lot of the beginning of most people's success story. When they're tired of just being fat, when they're tired of not being treated well, when they're tired of working the same job, living the same life, that's when it starts. Until then, if you're not tired of being tired, you're just tolerating shit over and over. It's that level of tolerance that you accept these mild discomforts and depression and sadness in your life. You if it's still there and it's not changing, you are tolerating it. You are tolerating the things in your life that you accept constantly. Even if you don't like it, you're still tolerating it and accepting it there. The moment you're tired of being tired and you make a decision not to allow it, that's when real change and real growth starts. It is uncomfortable, but sometimes the most uncomfortable things are the best things that ever happened to you. The best. It's how you view it and it's how you use it. Because if you're watching this in the future, you're not the only one who has some bullshit in their life. Life is full of problems. The people that are happy and smiling are the people that can solve their problems and find solutions to their problems. You're not the only one who goes through shit. We all go through shit. You know that? You know that? We all go through shit. I've been on the internet for a couple years. Before this, I had another TikTok, and I used to do live streams like this all the time. And there's people just saying random shit. Look at this phony. Ah, you're weird. Ah, blah blah blah. You're too young to do this. I had people ask me for help. I helped them, and then they go, you know what? I can't listen to you because you're too young. I had my own family tell me that I was crazy and that I should go to jail for doing what I'm doing. That was years ago. Now I'm out here living the life. So you go through shit, and whenever you grow, you're gonna go through some more shit. Life's about dealing with shit and enjoying the fun moments, but there's gonna be a lot of shit involved. Get used to it. That's life. Okay. So thank you guys very much. It's been an hour. I gotta go now. It's time for me to go. So you're watching this on the playback, go to scorpioscriptures.com. If you need help, you want an energy reading, you want a private reading, you can order one there. I'll be doing these again. Right? I'll be doing these again. So just tune in next time, okay? Thank you guys all so much for your support. I see one comment. It says, it's in another language. It says, see, consume AI. And it has a chicken and a shoe. She says, you says stay safe. You speak English? You speak in two different languages. I don't know what the first message was. All right. I gotta go. Thank you guys very much.